once you've written 20 books, which we've done in that series, 21 if you count the Yellow Packard, the characters write the book. Mm-hmm. You may come up with a mystery, but they write the book.
Yeah.
I may throw them into a mystery and how do you solve this? Mm-hmm. But they're the ones who write the books because they've got a full personality now, and they're the ones who look at their life. You're looking at life through their eyes. Mm-hmm. You're trying to find out what would you feel like if you were a Native American in 1944.
Yeah.
What would you feel like? So you examine the issues that they had at that time, but you're examining them in many ways through a modern lens. Mm-hmm. Obviously I'm going to take the series through at least World War II.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to the characters after World War II? I have a feeling they're going to tell me.
Yeah.
We've still got another year and a half of war left. But I have a feeling that those characters will tell you what's happening to them. Mm-hmm. Do they want to go back and do something else? Do they, have they come to a point in their life when they're tired of dealing with the grit and the underbelly of society because they're essentially detectives and as much as anything else?
Yeah.
Do they want to be in a more positive place?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They haven't told me that yet.
Yeah.
And do I take those characters and spin them off in another direction where they can each have their own individual adventures?
Yeah.
I don't know that either. Right now, they're at a place where I don't think any of the three of them can have a world. They can imagine a world that they don't interact and feed off the other ones.
Yeah.
In book number 20, which I'm just finishing, my Native American character, in one sense, one part of the book, just out of the blue, says Clark Kent. Mm-hmm. And the other, what? He said, well, he's trying to describe this character that they're trying to deal with in this book, and he's Clark Kent. He doesn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And of course, the Superman comic book had only been about 4 or 5 years by that time. And there was a radio show, by the way, that was also for kids that was Superman.
Yeah.
And she's talking about one she fills in how Superman was born, where the characters came from and stuff like that in the process.
Yeah.
And then she talks about why she likes the Superman character.
Yeah.
But she said what makes him so real is kryptonite.
Yeah.
There's something that can stop him. There's something that can kill him.
Yeah.
And then she turns all that back to them and said, okay, what is Senator Grant's kryptonite?
Yeah.
And then they're thinking, and said, what's your kryptonite? And so you're getting to how can somebody sell out their country? Mm-hmm. Well, what's your kryptonite?
Yeah.
Could you sell out your country? No, I could never do that. Well, what if it was you were put in this situation and somebody had your sister?
Yeah.
What would you be willing to sacrifice for her life? And therefore, I was bringing in a pop culture moment from the 1940s, mm-hmm. but it still applies to today. And those characters all had to have each other sounding off to fully come to a resolution of where they were.
Yeah.
And I don't know that any of them would be as strong as without the other two. They're a group that represents, these characters are in their late 20s, early 30s. Mm-hmm. They represent interactions that are happening all the time in 2023.
Yeah.
But they don't those were very uncommon during that time.
Yeah.
And so the mere fact that you've got three people of three different races working together in 1943 while the world is at war, mm-hmm. against that backdrop, gives us an opportunity to experience the black backdrop at the same time you're looking at at relationships that are pretty common amongst that age group now.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to write about it. It's interesting to see, one of the comments one of them makes this time to Helen, who is oblivious to all of this, this successful white woman that she is, mm-hmm. don't you realize that people are looking at you when we're with you? She never thought about it.
Yeah.
I mean, to her, these are just two people.
Yeah.
But when you make statements like that every now and again, it wakes the audience up. It's reading it to dynamic. And I think without meaning to, mm-hmm. I've written something that maybe Gen Zs and Gen Xs can relate to, maybe even more than baby boomers.
Yeah.
Because of that unique relationship.